Hey guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Truth Talks. As you know from the previous episode, and you will know in every upcoming episode, truth is defined as something that is verifiable. Really, it's undeniable. Now, I understand that people deny truth all the time. They can look at something and think, that's not true. That's not really true. You know, everybody in the media, they're talking about fake news and truthful news. I don't know. Here's the deal. I want to talk to you for a few minutes, sitting out here by my barn to teach us a very valuable lesson about perspective and reality. All right, so you can look and see that there's a piece of metal missing from my barn. It's a piece of metal that used to be over that piece of wood. It's not the result of the tornadoes that have been coming through lately. This is the result of just downright human failure or human error. It was my fault. I would love to explain this to you today and be blaming somebody else. That'd be a lot easier. But because it was my fault, I thought it might be a practical lesson that you and I could learn together. Well, I came down the other day, or backed my car down the other day. I have a small SUV, and I backed it down here because I was going to pull the lawnmower trailer that sits behind this door forward, get the lawnmower off, mow the grass, put it back on my son's trailer so he'd be prepared for the next day he needed to go out and mow grass. Well, I raised the door to the barn and realized that, I got distracted by something else, so I didn't raise it all the way up. And when I got my bearings back and realized what I needed to do, I got in my car, not realizing that I had left the door part of the way down, got in my car and began to pull forward. When I pulled forward, I got about a third of the way out of the barn. I heard this really awful racket, and I thought to myself, I have ripped the door out of this barn. Well, I got out of my car, came back and looked and recognized Nicholas has a tool rack on this barn that has his shovels and rakes, and one of the rakes was there, and I actually, because I didn't raise the door high enough, the rake actually hit the door, snapped the rake in two. I was frustrated. Number one, I had to buy my son a new rake. Well, I will. I haven't yet. Number two, I damaged the door of the barn, so I thought. Well, I was mad, so I got the chains and I raised that barn door as high as it would go and got back in my car. My wife was out here in the yard. One of my sons, they were looking at me like I'd lost my mind. Got back in my car, started pulling forward, and I looked in my mirror to my left, looked in the mirror to the right, and I thought, you know what? This is cool. I got it. Started to pull forward, and all of a sudden I heard this other awful noise. What in the world is going on? Well, the book of James in chapter 1, verse 23 through 25 gives us a fantastic image of the Word of God and a mirror. Let me read a passage from you from that. Let me read a portion of that passage for you for just a minute. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Well, I'll be honest with you. I wanted to forget that day that I destroyed my barn. Well, maybe not destroyed it, but, caused a little damage to it. Okay, so back to the story. I'm in my car, I pull forward, and I hear this incredible racket. Immediately, I look out my mirror on the left and look out my mirror on the right, and what I had perceived to be clearance previously was now the reality that the tail light bracket on the back of the trailer is wider than the wheel wells. Who in the world would have ever known it? What is that about, right? Well, I came out here to do this recording, and I found this little piece of tail light because I knew that I had busted the tail light off of the side of the trailer because the tail light bracket grabbed the metal that used to be over this piece of wood, and when I pulled forward, it ripped that metal piece off and twisted it off, and I was also, again, very frustrated. So let's reflect for just a minute. Broke a rake because I didn't raise the door high enough. Because I didn't pay attention to what I was doing, and I kind of actually drove a little faster than I should have. I ripped the metal off the side of the barn. By now, my family's sitting out here and looking at me and trying to figure out what in the world is going on. I'm thinking, I'm losing my mind. All right, I get out of my car, put the trailer gate down, get the mower off the trailer, wave at my family as if everything is okay, and mow my yard. Finish my yard, come back, put the lawnmower on the trailer, get the weed eater, go do the weed eating, do the edging, blow the grass off the driveway. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm feeling like, you know what? Okay, so I spared the door. I got to buy a rake. I need to replace the metal, buy a tail light. Things are okay. Well, I go inside for a few minutes, come back out. It's time to put that trailer back in the barn. So I get in my car and I begin to back the trailer back towards the barn. When I get the trailer towards the barn, I'm realizing it's kind of difficult. Why is it not backing up so well? Well, I just kind of gun it a little bit and everything's cool. And all of a sudden I hear this other crashing racket. Well, I had failed to raise the tailgate on the trailer. So the trailer tailgate, about 4 foot, was just doing its thing like a bulldozer, pushing the rock on into the back of the barn, push the trailer on into the back of the barn, or the trailer gate on into the back of the barn. And all of a sudden I'm driving and I can't go any further. I get out of my car and I realize this trailer is about 4 feet outside of the barn. What in the world is going on? I walk back there and I realize, you know what? I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. I've been pulling trailers all my life. What in the world is happening to me today? There's a big stack of gravel inside my barn now, about this high, because the gate on the trailer looked like a bulldozer, and the gate thankfully is not damaged. So I raised that gate, back that trailer up another couple of inches to get it clear of the door, unhook it, leave the gravel inside the barn. I'm like, I'm not pulling that out again. Drive my car up to the driveway at the house, park my car, get out of my car, close the door, go in the house. I'm hoping for a better day. Realized I forgot something. Walked back out to get something out of my car, and yeah, you can guess it. My door was locked. I had locked my keys in my car. You ever had a bad day? You ever looked in the mirror and thought, you know what? It looks like it's okay. The perspective is, I've got clearance. The perception is, I've got clearance. I can see what I need to see. I can do what I need to do. Have you ever had one of those days that everything just kind of stacked on top of everything else? Well, that was one of my days last week. Today, as I'm doing this recording, I want to remind you of a few things. Number one, the Word of God is in fact a mirror for us. The Word of God provides us with an opportunity to look deep into our soul to identify who we are. Today is day 40 since the pandemic on actually my birthday, March 13th, was first announced in the States. Now, I say that to you to say this. Honestly, I've got a few regrets over the last 40 days. There's some things I wish I had done better, wish I had done differently, wish I had done more of. But I can't let that hinder me from going forward. I can't let a bad day at a barn when I rip the metal off the side of the barn, or break a rake because I'm pulling the trailer out and the door isn't clear, or whatever the case may be. I have to do myself a favor, and that is to step back, look at things in the reality in which they really occur. The reality is I have a broken tail light and a piece of metal missing on the barn. Why? Because I thought I was clear of the wheel wells, but I wasn't clear of the trailer bracket. You might be sitting here today, you might be listening to this some other way, I don't know, and you might be wondering, are things ever going to get any better? Every time I look in the mirror and I see this COVID-19 hairdo I got going on, I'm like, what in the world is happening? Can I not get a haircut? Well, I don't trust anybody at my house to cut my hair for me, so I'll just have to wait. Well, here's the thing. When we're facing this difficulty, we're in the middle of life, we need people to be able to look at us and see an accurate depiction and perception of who Jesus really is. There's a scientific term. I'm not very good at the whole scientific stuff, but there's a scientific term that I really like, and it's called refraction. Now, I don't know if you have glasses that are polarized sunglasses, but if you have polarized sunglasses, and fishermen use this all the time, and you look down into the water and you actually can see past the surface of the water, and you will look in and you will see, it looks like it's almost translucent. You can look down inside there and you can see the fish. And somebody who's like me who really doesn't fish well, I want to reel my line in and drop it right there because I'm looking in the water and I see that fish. It's happening. You can do that. Get you some polarized glasses, go out to the lake, look over the dock. You can look down past that surface of the water. You'll be able to see. But here's the reality of that. When you do that, because of the law of refraction, when you look past that surface of the water where the light comes in, and all of a sudden you realize here's this fish, scientifically proven, verifiable. That fish can be 12 to 18 inches away from where you perceive it to be. Why? Because of the law of refraction. Because of the distorted perception, because of the result of refraction. I'm wondering, when people look at us, are they really seeing the Messiah? Are they really seeing an accurate depiction of who God is. Even on your angry days, can you be kind and gentle and long-suffering? Can you be helpful and hopeful and servant-minded? Can you be somebody who says, you know what, even if I've had a bad day, I'm going to help somebody else to have a better day. The end of the day is this: when you look in the mirror and you say, I like it or I don't like it, it doesn't change it. It is what it is. When you look in the mirror of the Word of God and you say, I need this to make change in my life, it is what it is, and God will use that to make you a reflection and not a refraction in a world of chaos. Think about it. Have a great day. Until next time on Truth Talks, apply the truth that you know to make somebody else's life better.